Break the board sports, college football, Friday night lights. We got a nice doubleheader for you. ACC, Clemson, Louisville, Big Ten, Minnesota, Oregon. Click that like, hit subscribe. Check out all of our content. Having an unbelievable season. Go to breaktheboardsports.com. All of our plays for just $1.37 a day. But these shows are more to give you trends, to give you leans, to help you with your handicap. That's what we're all about, helping you become a better handicapper. Let's get into the first one. We're going to go Minnesota at Oregon. Now, Oregon ranked number 7 in the country in the new poll. Oregon's laying 25.5. Your over-under here is 43.5. Let's tackle the over-under first. 87% of ticket count, 83% of the handle going to the over. 13% of tickets and 17% of the handle to that under 43.5. Very low total to be in Eugene, Oregon. They were just in a slugfest with Iowa, got the win. Field goal at the buzzer, didn't cover. The spread, 25.5, 54% ticket count, 66% of the handle is going to the Oregon Ducks. 46% of ticket count and 34% of the handle going to the Minnesota Golden Gophers here in this matchup. If you look at Oregon, obviously having just an absolute phenomenal season. This is kind of a sandwich spot in some ways. Oregon at Iowa this past week, very tough game again, field goal at the buzzer. And then next week, they host a big game with USC. So you got this Minnesota team kind of squeezed here in the middle. Going to be interesting to see how Oregon handles that here as these two teams match up. Now, Minnesota comes in 6-3 straight up, but just 2-6-1 ATS. Oregon 8-1 straight up, 4-4-1 ATS. Minnesota coming off that win against Michigan State, 23-20. So if you're looking for some similarities, Minnesota went to Iowa, got their doors blown off 41-3. Oregon kicks the field goal at the end to get the win there at the buzzer. Head-to-head, these two teams have never met up against each other. So very interesting in that respect. The Minnesota Golden Gophers have hit the first quarter game total under. Right now, that's setting at 10. 9 of their last 12 games. If you've been following that trend, you're up 5.65 units, a 40% return on your investment. Oregon, first quarter money line. Right now, it's minus 600. They've hit that 8 of their last 13, put you up 5.05 units, but only an 8% return on your investment there. First half game total over. Right now, that's at 23.5. When Minnesota's played, that first half game total over is cash 7 of their last 12. If you've been following that, you're up 1.35 units there. Again, Oregon, the money lines in this are way too high. But Minnesota has hit the game total over 3 of their last 5 road games, would put you up 0.8 of a unit. 15% ROI there is your return on that one. Diving into some more trends, Minnesota 8-3 straight up their last 11 games, but they're 1-4 ATS on the road and 1-6 ATS over their last 7 overall. Not very good. In the Big Ten, Minnesota's also struggled. They're 1-5 ATS their last 6 games overall in Big Ten play. Now the under is cashed 5 of the last 7 for Oregon. Oregon, on the flip side, they've been just an absolute juggernaut. Dan Lanning just taking this program to new heights. They're college football playoff bound unless some dramatic happens. 18-2 straight up over their last 20, 19-1 straight up their last 20 at home, and they're 5-1 their last 6 games versus the Big Ten Conference here. For me, 25.5 is a huge number, especially with the sandwich spot. Last 10 games as a home favorite. Oregon 9-1 straight up, but they're 5-5 ATS. Minnesota, last 10 games as a road underdog, 3-7 straight up, 4-6 ATS. Listen, 25.5 is kind of a dead number. If for some reason it got to like the 27, I would think about Minnesota. Where it's at with 25.5, just nothing I really want to get involved with this one. I would say, now if you said, RJ, you got to pick the game one way or the other, then if I had to pick the game, gun to my head, I would definitely take Minnesota and take those points, especially with Oregon again. Tough, physical, emotional game, Iowa, and then a big game that sets them up for the college football playoff. They got to beat USC. Oregon's going to beat Minnesota. It's just a matter of what happens on a scoreboard perspective. Do they beat them by 10? Do they beat them by 40? What do they beat them by? But one thing's for sure, Oregon's going to get across the finish line here, but just no play for me. If I had a lean, I would take the points. But now if it gets 27 and a half, that would be a different story. But right now we're sitting at 25 and a half. Next game on the board, and I think this is a really interesting game. Clemson at Louisville. Louisville is up to 3 now in most spots. You're over under 51 and a half. 68% of bets, 72% of the handle is headed to the over. 32% of bets, 28% of the handle headed to the under 51 and a half. Remember that. 73% of tickets and 56% of the money is laying the 3 with Louisville at home. 27% of tickets, but 44% of the handle is going with the road visiting Clemson Tigers. Now, Clemson, Dabo having his worst year in a very, very, very long time. Clemson 4-5 straight up, 3-6 ATS. Louisville still in the mix here to win the ACC and get to that ACC championship game. 7-2 straight up, 3-6 ATS. Now, Clemson, they got the win 24-10 over Florida State. If not for a horrible penalty, they would have beat Duke, but lost to Duke there, 46-45. So they were able to get back in the winner's circle last week. Now, Louisville, they lost hosting Cal last week, 29-26. And they've been in some tough ones. BC, they only beat them by 14, really didn't run away. That big win at Miami, that 24-21, lost to Virginia 30-27. So Louisville has been in some real tough games. Now, last year, Louisville went down to Clemson, and the Cardinals won that game 33-21. Before that, Clemson had rolled off 8 wins in a row against the Louisville Cardinals. Now, Clemson, offensively, they're averaging 27.9 points per game. Louisville averaging 5 points better. They're averaging 32.9 points per game. Louisville, 16th best scoring offense in the nation. Clemson, they're giving up 22.4 points per game defensively. Louisville, they're only giving up 21.7. So from a points perspective, Louisville really hanging in there with them. Last 10 games is a home favorite, though. Louisville 6-4 straight up. Last 8 games is a road dog. Clemson 4-4. Here's the thing. Louisville 6-4 straight up their last 10 as a home favorite, but they're just 3-7 ATS as to where Clemson 500 as a road dog, 500 ATS as a road dog. Clemson has not covered spreads. They're 4-10 ATS their last 14, but they're 8-1 straight up the last 9 versus Louisville, and they're 7-2 ATS the last 9 versus Louisville. So they've really owned them. Louisville, again, they're 7-2, but they're just 3-6 ATS, and then they're 10-2 straight up their last 12. That's good. But here's another one. 3-6 ATS their last 9, Louisville. Clemson's dominated them 8-1 last 9 games, we just said, and 7-2 ATS in those 9 games. But also, Louisville's 0-6 ATS at home their last 6 games. Not very good at all. They're 5-2 straight up the last 7. Call me crazy here, but if you can get a 3.5, I take Clemson. Right now, if you buy the hook, you're going to have to lay about $1.24. I did that. Clemson plus 3.5. I like this play. Now, you could say, well, Louisville got tripped up last week on the look ahead from Cal. Maybe so, but let me just be honest with you. I don't think any of these teams in the ACC are any good. I think Virginia's a fraud. I think Louisville's a fraud. Miami's got a lot of talent, but as long as Mario Cristobal's around, they're a fraud. Clemson's a fraud. Florida, like any of these teams, again, in the college football playoff, whoever represents the ACC, and it's only going to be one, they will be one and done in the college football playoffs. So I like Clemson plus 3.5. Got lay a little extra juice, about $1.24, $1.25. But I like Clemson here Friday to upset the Louisville Cardinals. Click that like, hit subscribe. Break the Board Sports, where we help you become a better handicapper. God bless and happy handicapping.